So I have a quick tip for you today. I'm going to show you how to light a fire with a piece of burnt wood from someone else's previous fire and your magnifying glass. You want to see how I do it? Stay tuned. Okay, before we get started, just a few tips. One is have your fire materials ready and have them all laid out nearby. It's going to have to be, well, obviously a sunny day. You're not going to be able to do much without sunshine. The charcoal, I've experimented with this and I've found that not all charcoal works equally as well. For whatever reason, well, no, I guess it makes sense. Charcoal that has come from burnt pine or other softwoods works better than charcoal from hardwood trees, the density, of course, of it. And it has to be dry. I think that goes without saying. And the method I'm going to use is to ignite a coal on the piece of wood. And I'm going to use a little bit of very fine birch bark to blow it into flame. Now, theoretically, I could break off a piece, create a bird's nest, and light it from there. But today I'm just going to try to do it right from there. Now, something I use to help myself out is my pocket bellows, my homemade pocket bellows. I can get a good ember going much faster with this. You can do it without, it's just a little easier with. So, safety rule, if you haven't worked with solar ignition very much, you're concentrating the light into one point. It helps a whole lot, or it's a whole lot safer for you if you use sunglasses, because you're going to be staring at a very intense point of light for a minute or so. And it is a hot, bright day. I expect this isn't going to take too long to create the ember I'm looking for. Okay. The only downside wearing the sunglasses makes it a little harder to see the ember. We have some birch bark going. I have some more birch bark waiting. My smalls. A bit large for a medium. Whoa, heat. All right. Okay, so is starting a fire with a magnifying glass really a practical skill, or is it more of a trick that you just use to impress your friends with how good you are? Well, for me, as a bushcrafter, I believe being able to start fires in as many ways as possible is a useful knowledge and a useful skill to have. The more ways I can practice making fire, the better my fire building skills become. So for me, yeah, solar ignition is a practical skill to have. Now, a word on using charcoal and the sun. It does take a bit of practice to recognize and find a good piece of charcoal, so you will have to practice a little bit before you're able to make this work. Now, you may be able to make it work the first time, but for me it took a little while until I was able to identify a good piece of charred wood that I could use. I did mention it has to be dry. I did mention, obviously, it has to be sunny. But one of the great things about using solar ignition is it uses up absolutely none of the resources I have in my kit. All I have to use is my magnifying glass, a good sunny day, and a piece of charred wood I find along the way. Now, on a self-reliance note, it's worthwhile, once you get your fire going, to make char for the next fire. And we've talked about how to make char before, and I'll link a couple of videos at the end where you can see how I make solar fire and how I make char. Okay, let's wrap this up. So until next time, get out and explore. Take your magnifying glass with you, practice a little bit, but do take that path less traveled. It will make all the difference. Bye for now.